I think we picked these Halloween ones up when we were out at
Yeah, it's the YouTube that's not connected. Which is working.
I think we picked these up when we were out shopping post Halloween. When we were hanging out.
That might have been my bad. Hi YouTube, sorry we started late.
I have some lovely cat's eye marbles. I think these are too big. I believe these are some that actually Payne did get us. These are the larger Super Ball size.
Yeah.
And the other option that I have are Christmas baubles. And I hate to use these because they have a tendency to break when you remove them. And I don't like breaking glass. Yep, I believe that's these Super Balls. Which I think these would work great. But they might be slightly oversized. They have a nice smooth shiny surface though. These are not plastic. They are glass. Real glass Christmas baubles from the dollar store, no less. They're a nice size, but get this eye out. That is going to be getting these out is a job one. And I know this seems like it's super destructive to a sculpt that was moving right along, but it actually won't take that long. If I shut up and do it. I do want to make a good eye retractor tool. Something like this, but just a little bit bigger, sharper, and stronger. Should be having the DP making sure this is showing up on camera good. She's busy.
You're good.
Nothing like a good eye poking out sequence. Let's just double check and make sure these aren't. Yeah, that's the same size marble.
That would be pretty cool.
Well, it'd be nice if I could put a nice white marble in there. But yeah, once you've got the major proportions in, cleaning up this stuff won't take that long.
Going from fucking roll up to unfucking roll up.
Yeah. The hard part is judging the size eye you actually want before you like build the rest of the socket around it. Let's pop that out. So we got a nice eyeless count. It's a good look.
Yes.
Now I will take my I know I made a thing for this job. Where is it? there it is. Let's see if this fits down in there. Not really. I'll use this guy. Gonna widen out that opening. I'm primarily going a little bit further out as well. So we're just gonna remove some more material. From inside these sockets. Yeah, what I would really like to get would be a set of eye forms in like 1 millimeter increments. I may have to just go and make those. It would be useful. They just don't really make them in a convenient and economical.
Anal scale.
No, you can get
like a handy dandy pack of.
I don't know. There might be. I'm sure there are some companies that do it, but they tend to do it for display heads and things. So they're really nice glass eyes, but really expensive. And I don't need them to look like eyes. They do have molds for epoxy, which if I ever get into casting, actually, before I do that, this I have poked all the way in, so I'm gonna get a little bit of clay in there so I don't push anything straight through. That's right. No, it would be a little cost prohibitive to do these things with $100 nice $100 glass eyes in there.
Well, I mean, you could use the eyes, right?
Yeah, but if I wanted a graduated set.
And if each one.
Yeah, each one costs like $100.
Yeah. I'm not buying you that, sorry.
No.
I don't love you that much.
I don't need $1,000 worth of glass eyes.
But admit it, you said that out loud. You went, but I want it.
No.
No?
No, I don't want that hassle.
Hassle?
Well, they are glass. They're not the most robust things I've ever, and often they're actually hollow.
Oh, that's not good.
So they're blown glass eyes. We ended up using some at the butcher shop when we were doing the one sculpt. We wanted something to show. Mm-hmm. I think these would be niche enough that it would be really rare for them to come up. Like a set of prosthetic glass eyes. I've seen old antique, like for show glass eyes, but those are very expensive too. Yes, they did have that rando dog autopsy model. Okay, so let's see if this makes any real significant difference. Where'd my other one go? Because I do want them to stand out a little more proud. That's not too bad, but I think we do need to go up one more. One more size. So I suspect that we are going to be working with it's a bit bulgy and it looks extra without the lids, but the expression kind of calls for a bit bulgy. It out of the one on the purple side was a little further out, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be not quite large enough. The nice thing about squishy balls is you can get them in and out a little easier, and you can actually kind of shove them into. Don't want to go too low. So one thing to be aware of when you are doing this kind of thing is making sure that you don't drift your eye holes. You know, off to one side or another or something like that. You don't want them to get too low or too high. Sometimes it's better to make a bigger hole and then fill in. Yeah, I want him to stand out very prominent. Not quite Marty Feldman, but in that neighborhood. And who's a pretty boy?
Oh, wow. I don't suppose you want them pointing. They're working for the same team, do you? No?
It might be a big ask. They're a little hard to manipulate in the socket.
Can you, like, stab it and turn it?
Yeah, if I wanted to stab it.
Tweezers? Tweezers?
No.
No?
It's not like
I guess that's the danger of having the actual
eyeballs.
Yeah.
But that's the fun of having the actual eyeballs too.
Okay, yes.
No, the difficult part is going to be getting them the right depth. Looks like especially this one. This one is in danger of falling right into that.
Did you reach the core?
Oh yeah, I reached its score. It's in there. Get a little bit of safety clay in there. So we don't lose an eyeball. Yeah, I could have put them on the plain white side. But where's the fun in that?
Yeah.
Let's get this in there. There is a chance these might be too big, but I think that's gonna be correct. Once we get
is going to be correct.
Hmm?
Too big is going to be
No,
correct.
I think that's actually gonna be about the right size. Once we get that in, we just looking down from the top just to kind of help observe the depth. The good news is this is never going to not be funny. Okay, now let's get some quick lids in place. I do think it's important to be willing to gouge out eyes and stuff if your sculpture needs it. You gotta get in there and cited Bob Denver. I don't know if I know who Bob Denver is. A musician, right? I don't know. No, I wouldn't know to look at him. Okay. Ah. I'm getting a little Peter Lorre action. They may want to go up just a scooch as well. Do fear these might be one size too big and not, weirdly enough, not bulgy.
Because they're bigger, so they're flatter.
Yes, they're bigger. They don't have as much of a dome happening. That gets the shape inside the width is good about. But they're too flat because they're so big. It would be weird if I had to go back to the old ones because they're the closest I have and just pop them out further. but that happens sometimes. One eye back out. And 2 eyes back. It's a lot of fun with no eyes. Get myself a little more nice soft clay. Yeah, I forget when the that whole moral panic thing was going down with the music is making the is ruining the children. Was it 85? Even I was still pretty wee in 85. Yeah, it seems to happen every few years. Parents groups throw a shit fit. Well, I imagine it was also related to the larger parents group whining period. Well, I mean, that is not too surprising for somebody making art of some variety to be anti-censorship. Let's try these are only just barely larger than the original white ones. I guess it just shows what kind of small margins you work with when you're sculpting on this scale. Only takes a tiny scooch. Higher too. Oh no, I dropped my eyeball. I wanted that one too. They're so round and bouncy. I mean, I don't know if less off-putting has ever really been a selling point for me. More off-putting, yes. No, I really do prefer the plain ones for sculpting because it is a little less distracting while you're working, but marbles only come in so many sizes. Quickity quick. A little bit of my lidening. One thing you got to be careful of when you're dealing with rubber balls is that theme. It does pick up in the molding. So there is it's really visible on the snowman ones, but there is a seam halfway up rubber balls where the two halves of the mold come together. And it isn't much, but it does still show up. It's not a huge issue for me because I can pretty readily polish that out of the clay. these will be okay. But if I was casting something like resin, that would be a lot more of a hassle to fix. Yeah, I'm always on the lookout for more round things. Smooth round balls or always what I look up when I'm out shopping. All right. And as you can see, it's not, doesn't put us back that far. I did see the giant sticky hand. I was trying to keep that one quiet as a surprise when I make one.
Make one?
Smack my wife with it.
No.
You're just mad because I'm a sticky hand ninja. I think that one would have literally knocked you over. It was about 3 feet across.
Oh.
Somebody made it with a silicone core for strength.
Trying to kill me?
So that thing probably weighed, I guess I don't know how thick that piece of silicone is, but silicone isn't tremendously light.
You should wrap him with his boobies.
Yeah. I don't think it would have been quite that heavy.
No?
No. Because it was a thin, it was like a sheet of silicone.
Yeah.
On the inside. So, not the same.
Okay, but what was the rest of it?
The rest of it was a softer, like gooey gummy material, which I don't actually know what that was.
But would it actually stick?
Yeah, it was. At least it would stick to a wall, like if you kind of put it there. I think the adhesive properties don't necessarily scale with the size. So I don't know if it would have been as effective. I also think it would have negatively impacted the cast on it. Having the two different materials. Yeah, I don't know what that sticky material is. I should make it a point to look that up. It's one of those mystery materials. like boglin. I believe when I looked that up, boglins were a proprietary vinyl or urethane material. I forget what they called it. I'm also not sure that's the kind of thing that would ever happen nowadays. I believe the material, if I remember right, the material that they used to make the boglins was part of the boglining, part of the impetus for boglins was, we have this material, we want to test it for toy manufacture. What can you make that takes advantage of the super cool rubbery stuff that still holds up amazingly well for a rubbery product? I still have an original 80s boglin. And the rubber has not degraded. Oh, EcoFlex gel. So maybe it is all silicone. I think so. I think EcoFlex is a... Yeah. It's the EcoFlex is a smooth-on product, I think. They have a bunch of different grades of hardness. Okay, now let's try and get this eyelid shape correct. That really does not want to stick to. Yeah. I wonder who figured out encapsulated silicone. I'm sure that is a known thing. Like whose studio started doing that first? Because it was not. That wasn't a million years ago. I know silicone was was very difficult to use for effects, even in the early 90s, just because painting it was so difficult. I forget who it was that I was reading one of their stories on Instagram where they were talking about what they used to do to make silicone paintable, and it only kind of worked. So they were the prosthetics were super delicate. And they were having to touch up the colors just all day long during shoots. I want to say one of the, I can't remember where I read this, but I want to say one of the things I read, that one of the early formulas was spraying they ended up using actual makeup, and I think they were spraying gelatin onto it. Yeah, like the makeup will stick through adhesion or through cohesion, basically. Well, no, not cohesion. Like it has that mild tackiness. You know how silicone will kind of get dirty easily. Yeah, it's not really stuck. It's not bonded. It's just almost like static electricity holding it on. But I think they were spraying gelatin onto it, like really misting on the gelatin, and that would sort of stick, and they could sort of put paint into it. Well, that looks significantly more correct. I mean, you really shouldn't have had that thing on your face. That's unknown budget cure silicone. I made a couple of things with silicone from the caulking type silicone. And it does work. I've been seeing weirdly well, yeah, having it something between your face and the silicone would be helpful, even if it was good silicone, because it doesn't breathe at all, so you're gonna end up with wet face all day. You don't want that. It was... I'm not sure what they were using to cure that. It did kind of smell a little like urea. Yeah, it was a silicone caulk, but there are multiple kinds of curing processes. For the caulking. The regular one doesn't smell bad, particularly. It's just a little difficult to get it to set properly because it's a moisture curing product. So it will only cure in thin sections and only when it's got moisture to work with. Yeah, they make a food grade silicone caulking that's used for a lot of industrial processes. They do use it for candy sometimes. I'm not sure I would want to go that far. Because it isn't technically a food container. Its primary use is for doing gasket sealing on machinery that handles food production. And I guess around food prep areas, they use it a bit too. But it's not meant to make like gummy bear molds, which I think is what I saw it recommended for. I mean, I'm sure it's probably fine if you're not. It's probably no more harmful than making the gummy bears a large enough part of your diet for it to have an effect. Well, they don't have the shape you want. I didn't mean like literally bears, but like, you know, if you were making gummy, the generic gummy bear.
Gummies? Artisanal gummies.
Artisanal gummies. If you're making the gummy Venus de Milo from The Simpsons, although I refuse to believe that mold doesn't already exist. Yes, it does. literally everything. But only like the first 12 seasons that I don't know. I've seen some newer stuff. It's not so bad, but I mean, that seems fair. I'm trying to remember that reference myself. Oh, the ski suit. I'm not sure that I'm not sure I would have followed that one from overalls. There's one of those neoprene all over wetsuit type numbers, I think. Either that or maybe they just didn't want to acknowledge the it feels like I'm wearing nothing at all while you were at work. They don't need to get HR involved. if we just pretend we don't see it. Yeah, they always do. It would be nice if there was a more straightforward way of judging these things, aside from just put them in and kind of sculpt around them. and then fix it if it's wrong. But I really don't know one. You can use proportional dividers to figure out some of the sizing, but that will only help with the you could kind of measure it against the photograph. The problem is that data is super dependent on like your the amount of eyeball that's showing. So if you have someone who's got like a really like a droopy lid, or their eye is partly closed in the picture, or I'm trying to think of somebody who has like a well, okay, no, not necessarily that, but because that's mostly on the one side.
No.
But you have people who have more open-eyed expressions typically, or just more open eyelids. I forget, there's even a term in Japanese when you're looking at someone, if you can see if the eyelid covers up.
You know what it is?
No. If your eyelid covers up the iris on top and bottom, that's most typical. Like you're in kind of a resting face, your eyelid will cover part of your iris on the top and bottom. But there are some people who, either because of the size of the iris, the shape of the lid, they have the whites of the eyes visible on 3 sides.
You know, we call it crazy eyes?
Yes, it's called crazy eyes. So you could definitely tell like how wide the... Yeah, I think that is the right term. It's not always crazy eyes. I think there are some famous people that tend to have that. Yeah, the 3 whites thing. But you know, you can have different amounts of eyeball coverage, and there actually is a reasonable amount of a variation in the size of people's eyeballs. Like if you look at prosthetics for people who've lost an eye, there's a reasonable range. It's at least a couple of millimeters, even among, like, you know, the normal population of adults and stuff. They'll have different sizes of eyeball. And so it would be a really rough estimate. Because you're kind of figuring out what the percentage of hidden eyeball is. So you'd still have to guess a fair bit. And I mean, even just a portion of a millimeter is enough to make your life difficult. I think people that make life-size sculptures have a bit of an advantage there. You can kind of guess toward the average. And that sort of, you know, that is data that's much more available in one-to-one scale sculpting. eye really looks odd in this lighting. Super wild. The purple just goes kind of wild. Nice pineapple Fanta. Speaking of drinkable candy, apparently my all-time favorite frozen drink, it's been Canadian this whole time. Apparently slush puppies are Canadian. Lime slush puppy is the best. Love me a Slurpee, but oh. Some more drapery stuff. Welcome back. That is pretty vital function. So I'm guessing they're acceptable or more accepting of playtime than petting time. Just take some time. Yeah, it's probably best to sort of, as much as you can, let them think you're not necessarily focused on them. Animals don't like that. Makes them feel hunted, and if you're watching them too hard. We just recently got a new cat watering fountain, and somebody decided to place the cat at it when she brought it home. As far as I know, she still won't drink from it when somebody's watching her.
Okay, I don't think she's drank from it, like, at all. And also, I don't think it's because I did that.
Couldn't hurt.
I think it's because she's a dickhead.
Nope, it wasn't next to the tub, it's in the kitchen, which also doesn't help.
No. I think we're gonna have to move it. The problem is our bathroom's really small. There isn't anywhere really in there we can put it.
Nope, there really isn't.
Unless we took the garbage out.
Not even sure that would necessarily be that helpful.
It is a temporary solution. Go with the tiny garbage in the bathroom. I don't know.
Could try a quieter spot in the living room too.
Well, I think that front alcove makes the most sense.
Might do. I might have to cut a new straw thing too.
Why is that?
Increase the sploosh noise again.
Okay, but that sploosh noise was not good.
Have to go higher than what it came with and lower than a full straw height. It's wired. I did not know they made wireless cat fountains.
They do. I almost went like all out and bought a super expensive one, but then I was like, no, don't do that. That's dumb. I don't even know if it'll actually work.
Really? How much water does it move?
Just gonna justify it not knowing if they'd use it.
The battery. I mean, it's got to have a battery, right?
How else would that work?
I don't know. I mean, when you say wireless, like, why does it, if it's got a battery, then it's just a battery operated one?
Yeah. Did you get one that was like all Bluetooth and crazy? Like, does it track when your cats actually drink? I've met you? Yeah, Yeah, but it's cats, though.
Oh, God.
It's knowing what the cats do.
No. Not a smart cat waterer. Fuck you, technology. I hate you so much. I would hope it wouldn't sing. Like, that would be counterproductive.
Probably.
I am a little concerned that Potato is starting to get an unhealthy fixation on the water thing. I have seen that cat just quietly staring at it for extended periods of time. More than once now. Like, more than one day in a row now, actually.
At least we know she likes it. Choose.
Really? I mean, drinking a fair amount is good for cats. Drinking a ton might not be the best. Well, I suppose that's good. I don't know. I imagine Seamus is pissed about ours because you can't,
Okay.
with the filter in it, you can't get glaze in it.
Ha.
Glaze is where the flavor lives. I mean, of all the things for cats to like in their water, that one actually makes the most sense, I think.
Dirt.
Yeah, it's mostly clay. Clay and some simple minerals, so it smells like pond or mud puddle water.
How's it going over there?
It's going.
He's looking pretty good.
He's looking okay, yeah. He's fine. The new eyes, I think, do a better job.
Yeah.
It is, I think it's a better fit. I think they might possibly be ever so slightly too large, but I would rather lean toward you know, having the character correct than having the likeness exactly perfect.
If I'm not back in like minutes, I'll have to turn this off.
Mm-hmm. We do indeed. Now, at some point, I'm going to have to decide what I want to do exactly with the texture on this guy. Because with the green pancake makeup, and the fact that he doesn't have a remarkably textural skin, he looks very smooth. I don't know how well that's going to translate to mug. So I may have to give him a little something.
Was that crazy?
Do they know? Yep, there's a reason why the white marbles are my preference. But you just can't find the size. You just can't find the size. Looks like it's 10 o'clock. Crazy eyes and everything.
Okay.
But yeah, I think other than the texture and maybe a little bit of reshaping on the mouth and getting the teeth finished, getting in the neighborhood. Okay, well, thanks for popping into stream. Have a good night.
Night.
Play with the kitties.
See you on Thursday.